What's up, guys? It's Duke back here from sportsgamers.com, and we got a great Madden 20 tip for you guys today. I'm going to show you guys one of the best defenses in the entire game. This is going to lock up the run and the pass. This is specifically defense I use to stop near flex close. I've had so many people ask me, Duke, hey, how do you defend near flex close? How do you stop the fullback dive, the rollout corners? Well, if you guys have trouble with that, or rollout corners or crossers in general, this is the video for you. It's going to be a very easy setup, and it's going to be able to defend all that with ease. And we're going to be in the 3-4 odd. I'm running the Jets playbook, but, any playbook with 3-4 odd, we're going to be able to use. So, I'm sure you guys have played this offense a lot online. The near flex close is really good. 9 times out of 10, if you play someone, they're going to try to do the fullback dive and roll out and throw corners. This formation is definitely a problem because they're going to have probably their quarterback with an escape artist, dead eye, and dashing dead eye, and then they're gonna have a route chem and probably like a post flag elite on their tight end and one of their receivers as well. So because you already have to defend the run, and then they obviously can throw rollout corners, this is super annoying. So the defense I like to use is the cover 4 drop show 2 out of the 3-4 odd. So right off rip, one thing about this formation on offense is it's super easy to block blitzes. You can block the fullback, the running back, and you can kind of control which side you almost want to roll out to, which is most people like to roll out to the receiver side, by using some advanced slide protection and ID of the mic. So you have to be able to stop the rollout, corners, and routes back over the middle, one-play touchdowns, and the fullback dive. It can be very tough. I'm going to show you guys how you can do that. Now, before we break down my setup to lock this up, I want to remind you guys to please hit the subscribe button in the corner of the video. Definitely helps support us, and also ring that bell, turn your notifications on. That way you will not miss out anytime our videos go live. Anytime our videos go live, you'll be notified immediately, and we have great content that you guys don't want to miss out on. Now, if you want to get better at Madden 20 in general, if you're looking to improve on offense or defense, be sure to head over to sportsgamers.com. We have the best Madden 20 tips and ebooks available. Now, guys, I want to show you guys why this is such a good formation. Most people are pretty much going to, just try to blitz the crib against this, and they're going to wonder why, they're having problems. So I want to show you in general one of the big issues with this formation before I show you how to stop it is just, the ability to just roll out so easily makes this formation super tough because, when you send the goons at them, a good 7-man blitz and normally gets good pressure, this formation is just super easy to block blitzes. You guys can see here, we're just able to use the max protect with blocking the fullback and the running back, send 3 routes out, slide protect, and ID the linebacker we want to roll out to, and he gets chop blocked, every time. And now we just roll out. We can scramble. We can wait for him to go past the corner, and we can just throw a corner out for an easy dot. And at the same time, we're worried about the fullback dive. Well, while that is a lot to defend, you actually can if you know what you're doing. So the way I like to defend all this at one time is from the cover 4. Like I said, cover 4 is pretty good on this year's game in defending corner routes in general. And also, I can stop the fullback dive. So, the setup I want to show you guys is going to kind of defend everything at once. We're going to start with the fullback dive and then move to the rollout corners. So, what I do is I baseline and press. I pinch my D-line, spread my linebackers out, crash my D-line down, blitz my linebackers. And then I like to put this guy in a curl flat, shade up, shade down. That's going to put him in a cloud and contain and use with this safety. Bring him up into the gap on the side of the receiver side of the formation. So, it's going to do a few things. First of all, I can just leave it like this, but I normally don't like to leave it like this. Normally what I like to do is put the safety in the inside third and then the other corner on the tight end side in a deep half. What this does is it protects me against bombs that they might try to do. A lot of people do have bombs. This is going to help me against that. If you go ahead and keep this guy in the cover 4 over here, it's just the safety in the cover 4 over here, it's cool, but I like to do this myself. Now, when I'm going to stand up in this gap, what's going to happen is if they try to run fullback dive, the defensive end is basically going to shoot in the backfield, or I'm just going to get good penetration in general. I mean, that time he did fall forward, but generally speaking, you're not going to get any yardage. Either my DN is going to come in and hit you in the backfield, or, I'm just going to have a swarm of defenders there. Now, I do want to go ahead and put a real running back in the game, so you guys can see how it works with, 2 running backs. I'll put in Lynch, do the fullback dive again. So again, really all you have to do is just baseline press, pinch your D-line, crash them down, spread your linebackers out, blitz them, contain. And then, I just like to go ahead and put this guy in a cloud flat, And, this is going to how it looks. So this is all you have to do. But like I said, you can change up the coverage if you want, something like this. But when you come back in the gap, again, you always want to use the safety that's on the side of the tight end, but put him on the gap on the side of the receivers, because this is what allows you to stop fullback dive, as you guys can see here. Again, notice how that guy just shoots in. And I tried, because he shot in, I tried to kind of run to that. So you guys can see, this is very consistent against the fullback dive. It's not going to give up anything consistent at all. They're going to have to go away from it. Again, we control the safety on the tight end side, bring him in the A-gap on the receiver side. Now, again, they're just not going to be able to do it. As you guys can see, I get penetration. And, honestly, you want your DNs to be kind of fast so they can shoot that gap a little better. This DN's kind of big and sluggish. You can see he's coming in the gap, and he's blowing the play up. But if you have a better, faster DN there, he's probably just going to make the tackle himself. He's not, because he's just not good enough or fast enough, but he's blowing it up, and he's allowing our other players to come in to make the tackle. So they're not going to be able to do that. Now, the great thing I love about this defense is, at this point, once you show that you can stop the fullback dive and they kind of get away from it, now we can just sit back and abuse them trying to throw these corner routes. So, same exact setup. Again, we just baseline press, pinch our D-line, crash them down, spread our linebackers out and blitz them, put this linebacker in the receiver side in the curl flat, shade up, shade down to get him in a cloud, contain, and I'm going to come up in this gap right here. Now, this is who I use her. But, if it's a pass play, I'm going to drop back and look to guard the tight end myself. That's going to be my assignment, basically. A lot of times I'll send him back over the middle, whatever the case may be. But I like this defense because you are not going to be able to roll out. You guys can see here, this is my defensive setup again. Most people are going to look to roll out tight end side. And again, we can change up the coverage if we want. Put the opposite corner on the tight end side of the deep half to protect ourselves from bombs coming the other way. But basically, I'm looking to guard the tight end. If he goes over the middle, like on a trail or post, that's me. If he goes out on the corner route, again, that's me. I can obviously make different adjustments, but this is kind of the base thing I go with. Now, I want to show you guys why I like this so much, is because now, what most people will do is slide protect away from the receivers, and then ID the Mike is this guy, and they can just roll out and chuck corner routes. Two things here. First of all, they're relying on this guy being blitzing, because 9 times out of 10, most people blitz this guy against this formation, so they're relying on that to try to chop block him to roll out. But when we don't blitz him and we keep this guy in the contain, we've essentially changed who's on the contain. This is something I've been preaching for a while now, both on YouTube and on sportsgamers.com, is all these offenses rely on just them knowing who's blitzing, who's on contain. But when you switch up who's blitzing and who's on the contain, you give all those things that they want to do huge problems. So you guys can see here, you cannot roll out because that guy, he's not going to even let me. Like you guys can see there, he's not going to let me roll out. You have to just throw some crap in coverage that's never gonna be effective. Past that, guys, a baseline press, quarter zone, a cover 4, is not going to be beaten on these corner routes very often, because if we put this guy in a cloud flat and he has any sort of zone coverage, you probably do want a good linebacker for zone there. He's going to defend that himself for a reasonable amount of time, and honestly, the cloud is going to do a decent enough job itself. But when you also have the quarter over there, the quarter, if you click on, you can oftentimes pick these rollout corners with the quarter flat, especially if the outside quarter deep zone, especially if that's a good DB. If he has 90 plus zone, maybe he has universal coverage, but even if he has just zone in general, you can often click on and pick this. So I just want to show you guys what I mean. That guy's going to be in really, really good position there. So like, even say I just blitz everybody, whatever. And, I get, the rollout because, I'm easily able to roll out against this defense. And I know that. But I just want to show you guys that these quarter deep zones, you can click on and pick these things a lot. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it here because I have to play offense and defense, but I just want to show you guys that they play that really good. You can see here, I wasn't able to quite do it, but again, I'm playing offense and defense, so you guys can see that if, I wasn't having to roll out and throw the corner and then try to click back on, but this guy's in pretty good position here. So you can imagine that if I am the user on defense and I'm clicking on immediately, I'm probably able to come underneath that and pick it off, because I was literally an inch from doing it when I had a delay. So you guys can see that that's not going to be good. Like, that is pretty consistent that you can click on, and this is not even a good corner here. I mean, so imagine that's a good corner. That's not going to be open. So that's, obviously something we're looking to do ourselves. Then also, like, I'm looking to defend the tight end over the middle. So again, if they're going to look to do that with the tight end, hit him on something over the middle, that's my assignment. So, whatever they look to do with the tight end, that's me. That's all me. So, again, now if they streak him, that's not a huge deal because I have the zones. But, if they send him on, like, something over the middle, that is going to be me. And, at a certain point, they're going to realize, okay, like, I can't even roll out anymore. So then they're just going to stay in the pocket, and I'm just going to look to guard the tight end. Nothing's open. And, we'll eventually get some sort of coverage sack. I would recommend having a D tackle that has the pass rush elite or the power specialist. I would probably recommend having an outside linebacker that you're going to be blitzing, or a D end anyways that has, again, pass rush elite and edge threat, whatever the case may be. Just some sort of pass rush chem so that, you have, even when we're blitzing 6 here, you get some better pressure, if they do this. But as you guys can see, there is nothing open. They cannot roll out, so now they're not going to be able to throw that corner out. Because if you try to roll out here, this guy has outside leverage on the tackle, so he's just going to sack me. So now that I have to stay in the pocket, it is not possible to throw a corner out. I mean, it normally isn't even when you roll out against this, but standing in the pocket, there's no way you can throw a corner out against a cloud flat and an outside quarter deep zone that's baseline and press. There's no way. Then, I mean, the safety, as long as he's a decent safety, you can't throw a streak down the middle. That just really leaves me to guard the tight end myself. Now, at a certain point, it's going to be time that I start to look to make adjustments to this defense, just to help out against other stuff. So maybe they stop trying to throw rollout corners every single play. They kind of like realize, okay, you can't do that, and then they move on to trying to do other things. So post drag, that's what I was saying with as far as deep post for one play touchdowns. You got to look out for. They have corner routes to the tight end. Maybe now they're going to try to dot you over the middle. Again, all that stuff I am easily able to account for. Again, this is just my base setup. But, something I might do is if they continuously try to throw some tight end corner routes and start to try to roll out that way, I'm probably at this point going to just go ahead and put both of my inside linebackers on contains and both of my outside linebackers in cloud flats. So now if you try to do this, try to say you just want to play with a tight end corner route, obviously most people have route chem, so they can just put the tight end on the corner route, but we don't here, so we're going to pick flanker drive, whatever the case may be. Now, I have to worry about that. Well, that's cool because, again, if they try to roll out that way to the tight end side, and we do this right here where we put this guy in a cloud, so now this guy's on the contain as well, and this guy's not blitzing, so they try to block the opposite way, which, then they're going to slide protect to the right, and I do this guy, inside linebacker instead of the outside one, so now you can't roll out, and it's an easy sack. So that's something very easy you can do to counter that. And at the same time, again, my user is always the safety on the tight end side of the formation, and I'm always playing in the A-gap on the receiver side because that prevents them from running fullback dive. And then if they happen to pass the ball, I basically have free roam. First of all, they cannot roll out, and we still have the same adjustments over here where we have that deep zone, and then now we have this outside linebacker in the cloud, so they can never throw that. Now, what I would do with my user here if they were to do this is obviously I would not be running with the tight end. I would be checking the middle of the field to maybe guard this in route right here, maybe guard this drag, whatever the case may be. Now, one more thing I want to mention is once they stop running fullback dive, I'm still going to crash my D-line down, but the difference is once they stop trying to run fullback dive, I'm going to spy one of these defensive ends because that's going to even help me more against the rollout. So once I see that they're done trying to run fullback dive, I'm probably going to go ahead and spy the defensive end on the receiver side of the formation. And what that's going to do is it's just going to help. It's going to help. Like if they try to roll out, like already I'm giving them problems with the rollout. But now, on top of that, I have the ability to, have a spy out there. So if they do try to roll out, the spy is going to hawk me down too. And then obviously the spy, he does play some coverage himself. And then if they do stand in the pocket, the spy is going to sit over that short middle of the field. So that's a really good adjustment you can throw in there as well as spying the defensive end. once you do all these other adjustments. So like right here, spy, bam, and we know we're set. Now I will say that you do not want to spy the defensive end until they stop running fullback dive, because you need to have those defensive ends both crashing down to really stop that fullback dive well. But once they stop trying to run fullback dive, then you can feel free to just go ahead and spy them. So you guys can see here, try to do the same thing, and you guys can see that defensive end definitely will help out. Look at that, he's mirroring me. I mean, obviously, it doesn't make a huge difference because the contain is already gonna sack me when I try to roll out like this. But the difference it does make is if they just try to sit in the pocket, the spy will just sit over the short middle. So if they just have some stupid like little route over the short middle, he's gonna sit right there and mirror it himself. Now this is just such a flexible defense. At the end of the day, you're able to adjust however you need to adjust. Alright guys, so quickly I want to show you how this would work if they tried to bomb you with a streak to the receiver side using a streak corner. That's really never going to work because, again, we're forcing you to stay in the pocket. That only can work when you roll out and get that angle. So even though our safety is in the inside third here, they're never going to have the angle to throw this, and we're just going to force them to stay in the pocket, so they're never going to be able to bomb you like that either. So you don't have to worry about the corners, you don't have to worry about the fullback dive, and also you don't have to worry about the bombs, because you can't roll out to the receiver side to bomb us to get that angle, and then you can't really just sit in the pocket or really roll out to the tight end side either with our adjustments. And even if you try to bomb us with a deep post to the tight end side, we can just put the tight end side outside cornerback in the deep half if we really need to, or if we see that deep post developing, we can watch it ourselves. But as you guys can see here, this defense, it prevents the rollout and it gets good pressure. So I definitely recommend using a D-line pass rush ability at least on your D tackle for these situations. But yeah, this is a great defense. Stops the fullback dive, stops the corners, stops the rollout, gets good pressure, and you can't bomb it either. So guys, if you enjoyed this tip, show the love, smash that like button, man. I really appreciate the support, and we will be back soon with some more great Madden 20 tips.